Hello, my lovey. Welcome to another ZFG Living podcast. Today, I am lucky enough to be interviewing Shell Mendelson, who works with ADHD adults as they go through their careers, which, as you know, for myself, has been an interesting sitch. Welcome, Shell. I'm so happy to have you on the show.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. So tell me more about like career counseling for ADHD adults. That sounds like a magical, amazing, total mess of spaghetti.
I learned so much that I can offer the people I work with now about what to do, what not to do.
Hmm.
When you're thinking about starting a company and you're staying in it too long and you don't have a plan B and it's like you feel like you can't get out of it, you feel like you're
Right.
stuck.
So what are some
And
tips when someone's on
yeah,
that journey of realizing I feel trapped in this
yeah,
thing that I don't fit into?
right. Well, that's literally the process that I take people through. So what happened to me was I got off track on my own uh roadmap from my own roadmap
Hmm. Hmm.
because I was thinking I was doing good, right?
Yeah.
And what it helped me do was to define the difference between a life purpose and a mission. And what I was doing was a mission. It was a mission to me, my definition, and I call it Shell's definition. There are many, but this is mine, is that it has a beginning, a middle. It's a project of some kind. It's something
Okay.
that is important to do or to have some part in, but it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it never should be ongoing.
Okay.
Right. And that's what this was. It was something that should never have been ongoing. And I did not have a plan B for selling my what part of it or getting out of it or any of that. I
Hmm.
just felt like I should be there because I was a founder. I didn't know what you said, which is the founder and creator of the whatever the thing is should never be the person running it. That's obvious now. It's very
Yes.
obvious.
Once we've gone through something like that, it's just like, oh,
Yeah.
yes, of course. And now I see it because I'm under the
Yeah.
piano. They just crushed me with that information.
Yeah, I mean, I just spent so many years like it was became, the my baby thing.
Yep.
And then you get into that controlling like everything's got to be a certain way. It was bad. It was really bad.
Well, good for you
But
for owning
anyway,
up to it and saying like, okay,
yeah,
and so we don't do that anymore.
we don't do that anymore. And I also, when I finally got my diagnosis, I literally crawled to the shelf where that book that I had shoved into the drawer and put my hands on it. I knew exactly where it was. I never
Yes.
read it, but I put my hands on it. It was like something just led me there to that book. And I opened it up and I finally started reading it and going, oh, it's when the light bulb goes off. Like, I'm not alone. I think the first thing that came to me is I'm not crazy. I'm
Right.
not alone. This is an actual thing.
Hmm.
And that was, I think, what a lot of people discover, when they first get their diagnosis is,
I certainly
I'm
did.
not crazy. Yeah,
Right. And it
there,
allowed me to be a lot kinder to myself
yeah,
when, I would like walk in and be like, well, why is this out on the counter that obviously I was going to do something with this item?
exactly.
What, and it's just like,
Yeah,
okay, it'll come to me later. It's fine. Just leave it there. And because I felt like I was living in disarray, that I,
yeah,
and especially with an accounting background when everything is just, tick,
yeah,
tick, tick,
yeah,
tick.
yes,
I
very
couldn't understand.
precise.
Yeah, why couldn't I get it together?
Yeah, yeah. I have an accountant who's very neurotypical, thank God. I don't know that I want an ADHD accountant.
No, I was very thorough in my job. I just hadn't applied any of those coping mechanisms to my personal life.
I know, you know what, and it's really true that a lot of people say, well, all ADHD people are disorganized, or that, they have this myth about who we are and what we are. Everybody's different. Some people are very organized. Some people love to organize, and they're even anal about it.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually, some people that I've worked with have gone into organizing, becoming
Mhm.
professional organizers. So yeah, there's no one size fits all at all, really.
Agree. Now, do you
Yeah.
have a copy of your book? Can we see it for if someone's watching this on YouTube?
Just happen to have it.
Just have it. A course for ADHD adults and teens. Unlock your career path. Navigate your next career move step by step. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. And you're giving props to your mentor right there on the
I
cover.
totally give props to my man. Well, he died in 2017, but his wife Marcy
Mm-hmm.
is kind of in charge of everything, and I am. She knows what I'm doing, and I just actually wrote her to. I wanted to wait until most of it was written, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be sending her. I would like to get her endorsement.
That's so
That
cool.
would be nice. That would be nice. But they're also still selling their book, so I don't want to step on any toes that way. This is very specific for people with ADHD.
Right, right. And I think
But
that the specificity of it is what is going to appeal. Because when
yeah,
you don't find something out like that until you're an adult, and
yes,
then it's like, okay, this could explain a lot. Am I interpreting this correctly? And how can I look at the job
yes,
market, the job field in a way that better serves me so that it is, I like the way you make it sound kind of like matchmaking, you know, like
a
it's
little, yeah.
find out, know who you are, know
Know who
what
you
you
are,
want.
what you want's the biggest part, and understand and own what you want,
Yeah.
and be willing to look outside the general scope of what you might have believed you were limited to. It's like
Mhm.
opening up uh, possibilities and realize that it's a nuanced process. It is not linear at all.
Right.
It's not like you get a degree, then you get a job, and then stay in that job for how many years or whatever.
Yeah. The gold
That's not
watch
how it
era is
works.
over.
That's been over for years, but not just that. It's sort of there's still a lot of societal norms that people grow up with, even younger people, and they think it's supposed to, and they hear all the language, the career language, the corporate language. They get kind of caught up. Yeah, I know when I hear people speak in that way, I'm like, okay, we got some work to do here.
Well, and language matters, and what we tell ourselves matters
Yeah,
so much.
yeah,
And it is a gift what you're helping people to identify and to understand themselves. And self-understanding is
uh-huh,
the path to so many good things. I love it.
exactly. Yeah, it's not just, I mean, of course, I am the career person, but obviously a lot of what we do in the process is going to leak out into other areas of your
Yeah.
life and expand, especially the safekeeping part. You'll start recognizing how you're limiting yourself
Oh,
in so
yeah.
many ways.
We hold
And
ourselves back, don't we? Mm.
yeah, and very often the things that come up for people that they want to explore are things that they had thought about for years
Yeah.
and were afraid to. So fear comes into it. But a lot of times, and safekeeping self will keep them from even finding out anything about it, like even doing a Google search or, so any kind of exploration on it. And there's so many ways to sort of blow the myth of what some of these things are. A lot of things that people think are impossible are very doable, and they don't have to be like one thing. It could be a part of that thing. It could be
Hmm.
like some aspect of that work that is very important for you to include in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Once we know what it is and we get it, but this is a little bit more structured way of allowing yourself to grow in that way,
Oh, I
in that
love it. Yeah.
nuanced kind of way.
Thank you for
Yeah.
bringing that to the table. Yes. Like you said, you took the what color is your parachute style of job hunting and made it specifically for the kinds of brains that you work with, the gorgeous ADHD brain. And thank you.
Gorgeous. I love it. It is gorgeous. That's a great way to describe our brains. Gorgeous. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, of course. Of course.
And of course,
Also,
our listeners can reach out to you with their information in the show notes. Is there anything you'd like to leave them with?
I do the master class, which is an 8-week process that I take people through, and I'm training my first amazing, amazing instructor who's gone through the class. She's now on her second time, and we're doing training. And so she and I are both going to be teaching the class
Very cool.
next year. And so if people want to they can get the book and go through it with someone. I always say do it with someone else. Don't do it on your own. You need accountability. Accountability is big.
Mm-hmm.
And as after it's released, I'll be offering more in the way of just little uh, tidbits to keep the momentum going as you're working through it, or taking the class if you want the deeper dive. So,
Shell, thank you so much, Shell Mendelson, for being on this podcast and sharing your wisdom and informing us about these resources that are out there.